So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. We're going to talk about really what people want to know. They want to know so they can make a really good business decision for their families. So the question is, are we going to hit 4.5% in mortgage rates again? And some people are like, no, that's not possible. And I'm like, whoa, time out. Really? Because I think it is. And I'm going to talk you through a little bit about how we're going to get there. So the first question that a lot of people have is, George, is the market still moving along? Is the market still, are we still seeing homes going pended? Are we still seeing homes getting sold? Are we still seeing, homes coming on market? Let's address that really quick. So first, we had 2,084 homes coming on market, just, average of the last 7 days. Normal. Perfect. We have 1,361 homes that went pended. That's a little bit low, by about 300 homes. We had 1,256 homes that actually sold. Okay, that's a little low by about 280 homes. Not unexpected. Why? Well, we do have interest rates about 2% higher than where they were last year when, interest rates were, 3.5%, 3.75%, as high as, I think, 3.875. But the market is still moving well. Why? Because a lot of people understand that even though home prices have cooled a little bit, which is beneficial, heck, I think today inventory was up like 125%. Okay, well, when you're dealing with 20%, 25% of the normal market inventory and you double that, and I said, hey, you double the market and we will take it off market, hey, we're still moving. We are still selling homes. That will continue to happen. We still see multiple offers. Yes, sellers cannot be doing the crazy, pricing that they used to. That's why we saw about 1,200 price reductions over the last 7 days. And that is a good thing. Most people are going, how is that a good thing? Well, that's very simple. You see, part of what the feds are doing, which is why we're talking about this right here, is to one of the two reasons that we are seeing or should see interest rates come back down. You see, the feds, their goal by raising corporate or commercial lender to lender credit card interest rates, HELOCs that adjust monthly or however they're adjusting, they're based on that rate. Okay, your car loans, anybody who's going out to buy a new car is realizing, hey, I'm paying more. I don't get that really cool interest rate. I get this much higher interest rate. That's what the feds control. Okay, so the feds, their goal is to increase rates. Now, understand, in 2018, they did this piecemeal, right? And it really had a negligible effect. In fact, it had a very negative effect. And you might be saying, George, it's a negative effect right now. I'm like, no, actually it's not. Because what they did was what I call a little bit of shock and awe, right? Bam, they gave you a 0.75% rate increase, right? In fact, when you take a look at one of my charts here, you can see it. Look at that, that boom, go way up. Okay, understand their intent, right? The whole intent when they say we need to slow things down, okay? It's kind of like a little frenzy that was happening in real estate and the economy, and everybody was like, whoa, this is getting a little crazy, everybody's trying to, buy things. Well, the way to moderate that, right? Raise the interest rates, but you got to shock the system. If you got a pool, right? Now I have a pool, right? So you have a pool, and when you open it up for, from the winter, sometimes your pool is a little on the green side. So we throw in this product that's a chlorine base or whatever base you're using. It's called Shock, right? And you can throw it in there, and literally you can watch the water go from green to almost clear. That's called shock. That's exactly what the feds are doing right now. They are shocking the system. Why? Their intent is to slow things down. Their intent is to bring sales and appreciation, especially home prices. There's not one buyer out there that is saying, oh, I love the fact I have to go in and give up every contingency and pay hundreds of $1,000s over list price. That is a great idea. I don't ever hear that. Now, sellers might be liking that, and most of them are going, yeah, I like that. But it is not happening right now. No, because we are moderating. We are making sure that we don't have this massive bubble later by ripping that Band-Aid off right now. Let's just get the punishment over. Let's stop it. Let's reduce it. Let's slow it down. That gives you a good investment base. And like a good house, if you don't have a good foundation, like many homes out there that have settling and creaking and doors that never fit or windows that'll never open or close, hey, you know what? That's just a bad issue. We don't want that. So a little bit of short-term pain today allows for long-term gain. I should market that. That's pretty good. That was impromptu. I like that. All right. For those of you that think that maybe this whole thing is scripted, it's not. I give you the facts. Hey, listen, you need to subscribe, okay? This is free. You get real market information, real time for the Puget Sound area, right? Washington State, because it allows you to be able to see what's going on. It does not matter what's happening in Florida, Arizona, and Texas, and Ohio, and wherever. It doesn't matter. It only matters here. And this is what is super important, because this allows you to make a good business decision. Let's get back on track here. All right. So when we take a look at inflation and we're getting that shock and awe from the feds, okay, that means boom, it slowed down. And guess what? Guess what, people? Look at this. More inventory, less sales. It's exactly what they're trying to do. And they're accomplishing that goal. Aha. Slow inflation. Checkbox number one. Now, when we take a look at it, we take a look at the Mortgage Brokers Association, right? If we look at Joel Kahn's comment, who is the forecaster, he says, purchase applications actually increased for the second straight week. However, purchase activity was still 10% lower than a year ago. Duh. As inventory shortages and higher mortgage rates are dampening demand. So we still have a shortage of inventory. Yes. Have buyers pulled back because of their haircut on the interest rates? Of course. But remember, the feds do not control mortgage rates. Nay, nay. Those are controlled by the open market. And some people still don't get that. Understand, the feds do not control long-term mortgages. You need to look at, this is a better chart right here. You need to take a look at our chart right there. Look at that beauty, okay? And you can see that we have our different mortgage-backed securities. We have 10-year treasuries. We have 2-year treasuries. You have your bonds. You need to walk those. They are publicly traded. Publicly traded. Now, granted, you and I don't invest in those. The big industrial investors invest in those. And as they invest, as their confidence moves into mortgage-backed securities and 10-year treasuries and 2 years and bonds, as the confidence goes into those, right, mortgage rates come down, okay? Now, you might say, well, George, what happened? Well, I understand the feds said, you know what? 2018 didn't work so well. We did a trickle, you know, a little here and a little there. Oh, you know, we'll just touch the Band-Aid. We'll just give it a little, oh, that might hurt. Okay? That was 2018. Well, the feds today, there's a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of things going on. Listen. Okay, let's be real about this. Okay? Everybody's guessing. They're best guessing, but everybody's guessing. And of course, you always have your sideline coach. Oh, they did too much. Oh, they did too little. Oh, everybody. You know what? I think it's Jerome Powell. You know, I don't have, I don't have, I pity the poor boy, right? There's no winning in his situation ever. He needs broad shoulders. He needs broader shoulders than I do, because no decision he makes is ever going to make somebody happy. It's all, I mean, it's just, his email inbox has to be just a disaster, right? He probably has them sorted by bad keywords, separate which ones he wants to read that day, right? All right, which ones do I read before happy hour? Anyway, I'm just kidding. All right, so with that, understand, they're just best guessing this. But today, instead of doing that, like 2018, he's just going, just tearing the Band-Aid off. And it is working. So that means that if they continue, all right, and meaning continue to raise the rate, and in fact, it's interesting, the chief economist for Pantheon Microeconomics, right, Ian Shepherdson, super smart dude. This is a guy you should also listen to, right? He says they expect another 50 basis points. Okay, remember, 100 basis points is 1%. 50 basis points is 0.5%. Just making sure we understand it. So the feds are going to rate it another 0.5%. Those of you with credit cards, HELOCs, looking to get a car loan, things like that, business loans. Hey, look, your rates are going up 0.5% again. Okay, just understand that. And for the little people that use a lot of credit cards and have higher credit card balances, you best be paying it off, because those rates are going up. That is going to be super important. Okay, all right. Now, what he says is this. They expect another 50 basis point increase in September. So do I. I think that's going to happen. Why? It's not, they don't need the full, 0.75, 0.75%. They only need 0.5%. Why? Boom, we're going to hit it again. We're going to hit it a little bit harder. Okay? It's like Mike Tyson, you're going to get a glancing blow instead of that full-on headshot that you got, a couple of weeks ago. All right. So by doing that, again, they're going to be able to moderate inflation. And they're going to watch those numbers, and they're going to see what kind of pullback, right? We've already seen pullback, which is perfect, because then it helps to balance. It takes this out and does this, okay? So that's what they're looking at. So he's also saying that he expects the feds to slow down to about 25 basis points on the last two meetings of this year, which means that in 2023, we should actually be, I would say, a little bit more what they call neutral, meaning you're still going to have a little bit of this. We still want a little bit of inflation, not the 9 or 8% that we're seeing today, maybe something sub 3, just kind of keep that thing going. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see the industrial investors getting more confidence, going back into treasuries, back into bonds, mortgage-backed securities. The feds they've already acclimated to the fact that the feds, right, and if you've been watching since October, go back to October and watch the videos moving forward. Nobody should be shocked that mortgage rates went up the way they did, because we predicted it, and now we're predicting it's going to come back down, right? Because the feds have stopped or tapered buying mortgage-backed securities, which artificially kept the mortgage-backed securities values higher. They started, instead of buying $120 billion per month, they started selling off at $50 billion per month, which then, of course, drove that value down. Interest rates went up. Okay? Guys, that's not a shocker. Watch the show. Subscribe. Share this. It helps the metrics for other people to see this, to make a good business decision. All right. Notice there's no selling here. Okay? This is good information for you. All right. Now, the third one. Increased real estate inventory is the third element that we need to make this happen. Already in play. We are already seeing these three things happen. So as we continue this, and understand, feds are going to raise rates many times. And I've said this in the past. Hey, just because feds raise their commercial lending rate, right, it doesn't necessarily mean that mortgage interest rates, long-term mortgage interest rates, are going up. And in fact, just case in point, they actually went down when they did the 0.75% increase, right? Because it already did its adjustment based on industrial investor perception when the announcement was made that they might do it. And of course they did. And the market, as the market does, did what it normally does. They had their freak out, mortgage interest rates went up. And then when they were like, oh, okay, yeah, they did that. Okay, all right, okay, false alarm, it's not as bad as we thought. Whoop, mortgage interest rates came back down. Now, they've actually rallied. So the last 2 weeks, mortgage interest rates have actually come down just a little bit, okay? They didn't go up, they came down, they flattened, and they're starting to level. Now, as we continue to see that balance, we will see these numbers start to change. As mortgage interest rates start to come down, we will see this change. Now, here's an interesting thing. Fannie Mae said they expect refis to drop by 69% this year. I think it already has. Nobody's refinancing at these rates. I would think it would be 100% right now. But anyway, and then he said in 2023, they're expecting another 35% decrease in mortgage refinance. Now, here's the thing. I am not sure that's going to be 100% accurate, because here's the why, okay? Now, I've had, our head shed here is not as big as it is on the federal side. However, we do tend to do this pretty well, all things considered, right? Okay, because we're the best guessers too. If we start seeing folks that are securing mortgages in the mid to high fives and the low sixes, and rates drop down to 4.5%, don't think that there's not going to be an onslaught of refinances. I guarantee there will be. And then all of a sudden we're going to see some volatility in the mortgage interest rate arena, as lenders then try to basically fill a short-term gap of people, cha-chink, hey, I'm going to drop a half a point. Cha-chink, I'm going to drop 1%, 0.75%, right? I'm going to get that 4%, 4.5% rate. If I was at 5.5, I can go to 4.5, even 4.75. Cha-ching, just won the lottery, right? That's going to happen. We're going to see a little volatility, but I am predicting in Q1, first quarter, that we're going to start to see our mortgage interest rates pull back based on the activities that the Feds are doing now, and because we're going to get lower inflation, so they can stave off the 13, 14%, right? Investor confidence, industrial investors, not you and me. My bank account's not that big. We're talking trillions of dollars moving in and out, right? Of consumer confidence back into the treasuries, mortgage-backed securities, into bonds. As those improve, mortgage rates come down. Increased real estate inventory, meaning that we see more of a balance between buyers and sellers. That doesn't mean, hey, okay, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, all right? Just because you take your foot off the gas pedal doesn't mean that your car immediately goes in reverse, okay? A slowdown is exactly that. You take your foot off the gas pedal, you start slowing down, okay? And it takes a while before you go in reverse. We are seeing a slow down. We are still predicting next year between 4 and 6% appreciation, not depreciation, appreciation. Now, I'm not talking about the crazy sellers out there that listed their home at a pie in the sky and whatnot. No, we're talking about taking a look at the median or average, our home sales, our home values, and what we're selling is going to drop to about 4.5%, instead of the double-digit appreciation numbers we've been seeing. That is called getting closer to a balanced market, okay? That is a good thing. Ripping that Band-Aid off right now is the best thing. Get it over with. It's like jumping in the lake. Don't put your toe in the lake, right? Oh, that's cold. Oh, God, that's cold. No, just jump in and get it over with, right? And then you're like, hey, this is not so bad, all right? Okay, that is exactly what this is. Make sure you're keeping things in perspective, okay? Keep watching the channel, share the channel, make sure you subscribe. Why? Because I'm telling you, sidebar note, kudos to my nephew, Tim and Teresa, right on. They just bought a home. They actually watch my channel. I guess they actually listen to what I say. They're seeing the benefits of it, and they are hearing, and it's funny, they're hearing the same information. So, with that being said, if you have any questions, post them. We'd love to respond to you guys. We normally respond within about 30 minutes, except for on Sundays. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Yes, we are going to start seeing some improved interest rates. They're going to bobble up a little bit. They're going to bobble down. Watch what the Feds do. Watch what the numbers do. This is all positive direction to get to 4.5% in somewhere in the middle of Q1. Anyway, that's our prediction. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, you guys have a beautiful day. It is absolutely stellar. And I will see you on the next video. Take care.